Hi, welcome back to Book Chat with Ashley and Emily. Today we are going to be talking about The New House by Tess Stimson. This is a book.
It is.
First off, spoiler alert, we are going to talk all about the spoilers of this book. So if you have not read this book yet, save this video, come back after you've read the book. And if you have read it, stick around. Let us know what your thoughts are. Comment and tell us if you agree with us, kind of your thoughts on the book.
100%. Okay, obviously, right out of the gates, out of 5 stars, how many stars do you give it?
I give it 5.
Me too.
Yay.
Me too. I give it 5. I give a lot of 4s and 4.5s, not a ton of 5s.
Yeah.
So this book was worth 5 stars.
I think so too.
It was worth it. It was terrifying, and we'll get into why it was terrifying.
Yes.
So right out of the gates, you find out that Millie likes to break into people's houses.
Oh, I know.
And take things that they won't notice are gone, but she just wants to take them. It's
Right.
a weird thing.
Right, and she's like disappearing, and her husband has just learned that that's like just how things are, and that's okay.
Yes,
So,
and like
yeah.
that's just what she does.
Yeah.
It's just what she does. So then you find out there's this glass house that she decides must be hers. And you really realize she and the other couples wrapped up in this are going to go to all means necessary to get into the house or out of the house, that whole situation.
I feel like a lot of us have been in that position where it's like we see a house, we want that house, but you know, there's of course you have to sell your previous house or you have to get out of your current lease to get into this new place, and sometimes it's so you can be so attached. So I could definitely understand that, like how that drive to be like, I
Yes.
wish that could be mine. Like I want that to be mine.
Yes. And then when you can taste it and it's going to become yours and
Yeah.
it starts to slip away, what will I do to make it mine?
Yeah.
And then you have this couple, and I love this current day piece of it, who are basically social media blogging stars. And
Yeah.
that just brought a whole different perspective, because Millie and Tom are really more of a traditional job couple. So you have them, the social media couple, and then the owners of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting, there's all these families, and it's so hard to figure out how this is going to intersect. Like who is
Yes.
good here, who is bad, and what's going on. And it really becomes not about the houses.
Not at all. Not at all. And okay, so this is getting into major spoilers.
Yeah.
So the first few times that there were hints that maybe their child had purposefully harmed someone else or
Right.
done something, did you instinctively go to yes, or did you want to be like, no, he's not a bad kid?
So I definitely thought, oh, okay, they're setting it up that like he, like his mother,
yes,
has antisocial personality disorder, right? Like is a psychopath or sociopath,
Yeah.
like as you would commonly call it. And like, I definitely thought that was the case, but I did not go all the way to thinking that he was going to be the person
No.
who was actually like harming everybody.
yes. And that the mom knew, like she
I know.
knew he's going down this path, and she just thought, how can I help him harness this in a way that's not harmful to others?
Right. Well, like she did it for herself.
Yes.
This brings up the same question though, that this age old question, like, what do you do with your child? People, it's not cut and dry. Like you can't just be like, okay, I'll just put my child in an institution because I think they might be a
Yes.
psychopath. Like, I think you do think I just have to get them all of the resources and do everything in my power to
Yes.
help them.
And the nature nurture piece, right? Because Millie was like, he gets this from me. And
Right.
her husband was like, no, we can help him out of this.
Right.
And you couldn't, spoiler alert, at the end of the book, he could not be helped.
Okay, listen, here's what terrified me so much about this book. And we have to talk about this because sometimes we put up these TikToks saying, oh, this is a terrifying book. And people are like, that's not scary. Did we read the same book? Listen to me. If you're not afraid of the Brian Kobergers of the world, like you are chasing monsters, right? Like that is real world monsters. Like this is not fairy tale. And here's what really scared me. The set talk that was like obviously a riff on a TED talk, right?
Yes.
So there's a real case. You have to go look this up if you have read this book. Daniel Marsh, 15 years old. He broke into an older couple's home in a small town in California, and he murdered this older couple just
brutal.
viciously. Absolutely brutal. Like stabbed them many times. And then afterward, he told a friend, it was like the best he'd ever felt. He loved it. That's how he got caught, is the friend turned him in after he was like terrified for like a week. And in that week, Daniel Marsh went out onto the street to try to find someone else to kill, but didn't find a good victim. Okay, well, this guy was assessed by psychologists and has one of the highest scores on the psychopathy checklist that you can have. So like he's clearly a psychopath, but he has done a TED Talk talking about how he was a child and he's reformed. And I was like, this is a real story.
Yes. This, and the people who say it's not scary because they want snakes falling out of this like ceiling scary.
Right.
Normal type. I'm like, this is scarier than anything I have ever read. To be afraid of a child.
Yeah.
Because there's not really anything you can do to stop that child from literally killing people.
Right. To me, it was like, no, these are the people I'm actually afraid of. Like when I'm afraid at night, it is of the Daniel Marshes of the world, not the, creaking ghost story or like those kinds of things, right? Yes. Like it's definitely for me, like I am afraid that these people exist and that nobody knows what to do about them or with them.
No, and even when you know that that's what they have in them and are willing to act on it, you still don't know exactly what path to send them on or to help them.
Oh my gosh. At the end, when you find out it's him doing the set talks and he's trying to convince everybody that he is like reformed. Yep. That's classic psychopath charm, right? And then the other part is when she just says when he slits his dad's throat at the end.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I mean, that just, I couldn't sleep. Yes. And she says it like that. He slits his throat. I mean, it just that like gave me nightmares. So that's why we say it's terrifying. So do you think it's not scary? That didn't scare you?
Right. Tell us what you thought of this book. If you haven't read it, if you haven't read it, it's still worth reading. There's so many things we did not get into.
Yes. Although, man, there's some other dark stuff in there. It is dark. Yes. Like the drain stuff.
Trying to drown another kid.
Like trying to drown another kid. So if you've read it, comment. Did you love it? Did you not like it? What were your thoughts? Like, why did you say it wasn't scary? How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. But
and if you did like it, tell us what we should read next.
Yeah.
That has a similar kind of terrifying vibe.
Yeah.
Also, like, follow, and subscribe so you can keep seeing our book chats, and we'll tell you what we think about all the books you read.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.